Sure. Here's the list in English: 20 famous male actors from the golden age of Hollywood, roughly 1930s to 1960s. These legends helped shape classic cinema. Humphrey Bogart was a legendary American actor who became a symbol of classic Hollywood cinema. Born on December 25, 1899, in New York City, Bogart began his career on stage before moving to films in the 1930s. Though he started with minor roles, he gained fame with his breakout performance in The Maltese Falcon, 1941, directed by John Huston. His portrayal of private detective Sam Spade introduced audiences to his cool, tough, and mysterious screen persona. Bogart's most iconic role came a year later in Casablanca, 1942, where he played Rick Blaine, a cynical nightclub owner caught between love and sacrifice during World War II. His chemistry with Ingrid Bergman and memorable lines like, "Here's looking at you, kid," made the film a timeless classic. Known for his deep voice, subtle expressions, and natural acting style, Bogart redefined masculinity in cinema. He won the Academy Award for Best Actor for The African Queen, 1951, co-starring Katharine Hepburn. Off-screen, he was admired for his intelligence, wit, and strong principles. His marriage to actress Lauren Bacall was one of Hollywood's most celebrated romances. Bogart died in 1957, but his legacy as one of the greatest screen legends endures. Clark Gable, often called the King of Hollywood, was one of the most charismatic and influential actors of the Golden Age. Born on February 1, 1901, in Cadiz, Ohio, Gable rose from humble beginnings to become a symbol of masculine charm and rugged sophistication. He gained critical acclaim and public adoration with his Oscar-winning performance in It Happened One Night, 1934, a romantic comedy that showcased his comedic timing and undeniable screen presence. However, it was his portrayal of Rhett Butler in the epic Gone with the Wind, 1939, that cemented his legacy. The film became a cultural phenomenon, and Gable's performance, especially his iconic line, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn," became legendary. Known for his confident demeanor, commanding voice, and strong on-screen persona, Gable starred in over 60 films, often playing dashing heroes or tough men with a heart. Off-screen, he was admired for his down-to-earth personality and served in the U.S. Army Air Forces during World War II. Despite personal tragedies, including the death of his wife Carole Lombard, Gable remained a beloved figure until his passing in 1960. His enduring influence continues to shape the image of the classic Hollywood leading man. James Stewart, known for his warm voice and everyman persona, was one of the most respected and enduring actors of classic Hollywood. Born on May 20, 1908, in Indiana, Pennsylvania, Stewart brought a natural, sincere style to acting that resonated with audiences for decades. His early success came in the 1930s with films like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, 1939, where he played an idealistic senator fighting corruption. That role earned him his first Academy Award nomination. He later won the Oscar for The Philadelphia Story, 1940, starring alongside Cary Grant and Katharine Hepburn. Stewart is perhaps best known for his role as George Bailey in Frank Capra's It's a Wonderful Life, 1946, a film that became a timeless holiday classic. Beyond his wholesome characters, he explored darker, more complex roles in Alfred Hitchcock's thrillers, such as Rear Window, 1954, and Vertigo, 1958, showing his wide emotional range. A decorated World War II bomber pilot, Stewart returned from the war and continued his career with even greater depth. With his tall frame, stammering speech, and heartfelt performances, he remains an icon of sincerity and integrity in American cinema. Stewart passed away in 1997, but his legacy lives on in film history. Cary Grant was the epitome of Hollywood sophistication, charm, and wit. Born Archibald Leach on January 18, 1904, in Bristol, England, he reinvented himself in America, becoming one of the silver screen's most enduring stars. Grant combined impeccable comic timing, suave elegance, and a subtle vulnerability that made him equally effective in both romantic comedies and thrillers. He rose to fame in the 1930s and 1940s with hits like Bringing Up Baby, 1938, where his chemistry with Katharine Hepburn and talent for screwball comedy made him a household name. One of his most iconic collaborations was with director Alfred Hitchcock, starring in 4 of his films, including North by Northwest, 1959, Notorious, 1946, and To Catch a Thief, 1955. In these roles, he portrayed the debonair yet flawed hero with effortless grace. Though nominated for 2 Oscars, Grant never won a competitive Academy Award but received an honorary Oscar in 1970 for his lifetime contributions to film. Off-screen, he was known for his private nature, refined manners, and complex personal life. Cary Grant retired from acting in 1966, leaving behind a legacy of sophistication and timeless performances. He remains one of cinema's most beloved and stylish leading men. Marlon Brando revolutionized screen acting and became a defining figure of 20th-century cinema. Born on April 3, 1924, in Omaha, Nebraska, Brando brought a raw intensity and emotional realism that had rarely been seen before in Hollywood. He gained fame with his groundbreaking performance as Stanley Kowalski in A Streetcar Named Desire, 1951, a role he had originated on Broadway. His physicality, voice, and emotional vulnerability redefined acting standards and introduced method acting to a wide audience. Brando won his first Academy Award for On the Waterfront, 1954, where his performance as a conflicted ex-boxer, I Could Have Been a Contender, became one of cinema's most quoted moments. Known for his rebellious nature, Brando often clashed with Hollywood norms and turned down roles that didn't challenge him artistically. In 1972, he made an unforgettable comeback as Vito Corleone in The Godfather, earning his second Oscar, which he famously refused in protest of Hollywood's portrayal of Native Americans. Despite a turbulent personal life and uneven career choices in later years, Brando's talent remained undeniable. He passed away in 2004, but his legacy endures as a pioneer who transformed acting from theatrical to deeply human and psychologically complex. Gregory Peck was a towering figure in Hollywood, known for his moral strength, calm authority, and deep sense of integrity. Born on April 5, 1916, in La Jolla, California, Peck rose to fame in the 1940s and became one of the most admired leading men of his era. His breakout came with The Keys of the Kingdom, 1944, and he quickly became known for playing strong, principled characters. His most iconic role was as Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, 1962, where he portrayed a Southern lawyer defending a black man falsely accused of rape. The role earned him an Academy Award and remains one of the most powerful performances in film history. Peck's calm demeanor, commanding voice, and sincere presence made him a natural choice for roles involving justice, leadership, and honor. He also starred in classics like Roman Holiday, 1953, alongside Audrey Hepburn and The Guns of Navarone, 1961. Off-screen, Peck was involved in political activism and humanitarian causes, advocating for civil rights and nuclear disarmament. With a career spanning over 5 decades, Gregory Peck left a legacy of films that continue to inspire audiences around the world. He passed away in 2003, but remains an enduring symbol of cinematic decency. Gary Cooper was a symbol of quiet strength and rugged individualism in classic American cinema. Born on May 7, 1901, in Helena, Montana, Cooper brought an understated, natural acting style that stood out in an era dominated by theatrical performances. He began his film career in silent movies during the 1920s and seamlessly transitioned into talkies, becoming one of Hollywood's most bankable stars. Known for playing principled, humble heroes, Cooper won 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor, first for Sergeant York, 1941, where he portrayed a real-life World War I hero, and then for High Noon, 1952, a tense western about a lone marshal standing up for justice. His performance in High Noon remains one of the most acclaimed in film history, symbolizing courage and moral resolve. Cooper often played characters who were strong yet soft-spoken, with a deep moral center, traits that resonated with American audiences, especially during times of social or political uncertainty. Off-screen, he was known for his modesty and reserved nature. Though he avoided the spotlight, his influence on acting and American film culture was profound. Gary Cooper passed away in 1961, but his legacy endures as the quintessential Western hero and gentleman of Hollywood's golden age. Spencer Tracy was a powerhouse of American cinema, admired for his naturalistic acting, emotional depth, and commanding screen presence. Born on April 5, 1900, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Tracy became one of the first major stars to bring a realistic, understated style to acting, paving the way for future generations. He began his film career in the early 1930s and soon gained recognition for his skill and consistency. Tracy won 2 consecutive Academy Awards for Best Actor, for Captains Courageous, 1937, and Boys Town, 1938, making him the first actor to achieve that feat. He was especially known for his ability to deliver powerful performances without theatrics, making his characters feel deeply human. One of his most enduring partnerships was with actress Katharine Hepburn, with whom he starred in 9 films, including Adam's Rib, 1949, and Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, 1967, his final film. Their on-screen chemistry and off-screen romance became legendary in Hollywood. Tracy often played strong, ethical men facing moral dilemmas, and he brought dignity and intelligence to every role. Despite personal struggles with health and alcohol, his professionalism never wavered. Spencer Tracy passed away in 1967, shortly after completing his last film, leaving behind a legacy of excellence and authenticity. John Wayne, born Marion Robert Morrison on May 26, 1907, in Winterset, Iowa, became a legendary symbol of rugged American masculinity and the classic Western hero. With his towering presence, deep voice, and confident stride, Wayne starred in over 170 films during a career that spanned more than 5 decades. He rose to stardom with director John Ford's Stagecoach, 1939, a breakthrough role that launched him as a leading man in the Western genre. Throughout the 1940s and 1950s, he solidified his image with roles in iconic films like Red River, 1948, The Searchers, 1956, and Rio Bravo, 1959. In 1969, he won the Academy Award for Best Actor for his performance as the tough, one-eyed Marshal Rooster Cogburn in True Grit. While he was best known for playing cowboys and soldiers, Wayne also ventured into war films, such as The Longest Day, 1962, and Sands of Iwo Jima, 1949. Off-screen, he was a patriotic and outspoken figure, often associated with conservative values. Though sometimes criticized for playing similar roles, his screen presence and impact on American culture were undeniable. John Wayne passed away in 1979, but remains an enduring symbol of strength, resilience, and classic Hollywood heroism. Errol Flynn was one of the most charismatic and dashing actors of Hollywood's golden age, best known for his roles as fearless adventurers and charming rogues. Born on June 20, 1909, in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia, Flynn brought a unique energy and athleticism to the screen that captivated audiences worldwide. He rose to fame with Captain Blood, 1935, a swashbuckling pirate adventure that marked the beginning of his successful partnership with director Michael Curtiz and co-star Olivia de Havilland. Flynn's most iconic role came in The Adventures of Robin Hood, 1938, where his graceful swordsmanship, boyish charm, and roguish grin defined the definitive Robin Hood for generations. Throughout the late 1930s and 1940s, he starred in a series of action-packed historical dramas, war films, and romantic adventures, including The Sea Hawk, 1940, and They Died with Their Boots On, 1941. Off-screen, Flynn was known for his lavish lifestyle, rebellious spirit, and frequent tabloid scandals, which both enhanced and complicated his public image. Though his career declined in the 1950s, his early performances left an indelible mark on cinema. Errol Flynn died in 1959 at age 50, but he remains the quintessential swashbuckler, forever remembered for his daring roles and screen charisma. William Holden was one of Hollywood's most versatile and enduring leading men, known for his charismatic screen presence and ability to portray both tough and sensitive characters. Born William Franklin Beadle Jr. on April 17, 1918, in O'Fallon, Illinois, Holden rose to fame in the late 1940s and 1950s with critically acclaimed roles that showcased his depth and range. One of his most memorable performances was as Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard, 1950, a dark Hollywood noir directed by Billy Wilder. In the film, Holden plays a struggling screenwriter who becomes entangled with a faded silent film star, delivering a performance full of cynicism and vulnerability. He also earned an Academy Award for Best Actor for his role as Sergeant Sefton in Stalag 17, 1953, a World War II drama about American POWs in a German camp. Holden's naturalistic acting style helped him stand out during an era dominated by theatrical performances. Beyond these classics, he starred in a variety of genres including dramas, westerns, and romantic films, maintaining popularity through the 1960s and 1970s. Despite a somewhat private personal life, his legacy as one of Hollywood's great leading men remains intact. Holden passed away in 1981, but his work continues to influence actors and filmmakers today. Fred Astaire was an iconic American dancer, singer, and actor who revolutionized dance in film and became synonymous with elegance, grace, and effortless charm. Born Frederick Austerlitz on May 10, 1899, in Omaha, Nebraska, Astaire started performing with his sister Adele at a young age before making his solo mark in Hollywood. His career skyrocketed in the 1930s and 1940s with a series of successful musical films, especially his partnership with Ginger Rogers. Together, they starred in classics like Top Hat, 1935, and Swing Time, 1936, which showcased their impeccable chemistry, intricate choreography, and joyful performances. Astaire was known for his innovative dance routines that combined tap, ballroom, and ballet with a smooth, seemingly effortless style that few could match. Beyond dancing, he was also a talented singer and actor, often playing charming and sophisticated leading men. Unlike many dancers of his time, Astaire insisted on filming full dance sequences in a single take, preserving the authenticity and energy of the performance. His influence on musical films and dance is immeasurable, inspiring generations of performers after him. Fred Astaire passed away in 1987, but his legacy as Hollywood's greatest dancer lives on. Bert Lancaster was a powerful and versatile actor whose career spanned genres and decades, evolving from tough action roles to deeply complex dramatic performances. Born on November 2, 1913, in New York City, Lancaster began as a circus acrobat before transitioning to acting, a background that gave him a commanding physical presence on screen. He made an impressive film debut in The Killers, 1946, quickly establishing himself as a leading man. In the 1950s, he demonstrated his dramatic range with roles in acclaimed films like From Here to Eternity, 1953, where he played a passionate sergeant entangled in a forbidden romance. His performance, particularly in the iconic beach scene with Deborah Kerr, remains one of the most memorable in cinema history. Lancaster won the Academy Award for Best Actor for Elmer Gantry, 1960, in which he portrayed a fiery, charismatic evangelist. Throughout his career, he sought out challenging, unconventional roles and co-founded his own production company to gain creative control. He also earned praise for his work in Birdman of Alcatraz, 1962, and Atlantic City, 1980. Off-screen, Lancaster was known for his intelligence, liberal politics, and commitment to civil rights. He passed away in 1994, leaving a rich legacy of bold, compelling performances. Montgomery Clift was a groundbreaking actor whose raw emotional depth and vulnerability redefined screen acting in the mid-20th century. Born on October 17, 1920, in Omaha, Nebraska, Clift began his career on Broadway before making a striking Hollywood debut in Red River, 1948, opposite John Wayne. Unlike many traditional leading men of his time, Clift brought an intense inner life to his characters, making him a pioneer of method acting alongside Marlon Brando and James Dean. His performance in A Place in the Sun, 1951, opposite Elizabeth Taylor, earned him widespread acclaim and an Academy Award nomination. He portrayed a conflicted young man torn between love and ambition, a role that showcased his haunting, sensitive style. He received additional Oscar nominations for From Here to Eternity, 1953, and Judgment at Nuremberg, 1961. Off-screen, Clift struggled with his identity, mental health, and substance abuse, especially after a near-fatal car accident in 1956 that altered both his appearance and career. Despite these hardships, he continued to deliver powerful performances, often portraying misunderstood or emotionally wounded men. Montgomery Clift died in 1966 at the age of 45, but remains a deeply influential figure in film history for his courage, artistry, and emotional honesty. Charlton Heston was an iconic American actor known for his powerful presence and commanding performances in epic films. Born on October 4, 1923, in Evanston, Illinois, Heston rose to fame in the 1950s and 1960s as a leading man in some of Hollywood's grandest productions. His breakout role came in The Ten Commandments, 1956, where he portrayed Moses, delivering a monumental performance that has become legendary in cinema history. Heston's portrayal combined strength, dignity, and spiritual conviction, making the film a timeless classic. He further solidified his status with Ben-Hur, 1959, in which he played Judah Ben-Hur, a Jewish prince who seeks revenge and redemption. The film won 11 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, and Heston himself received an Oscar for Best Actor. Known for his tall stature, deep voice, and intense screen presence, Heston became the face of epic storytelling, often embodying heroic and larger-than-life characters. Beyond his acting career, he was an outspoken political activist and served as president of the National Rifle Association, NRA. Charlton Heston passed away in 2008, but his legacy as one of Hollywood's great epic heroes continues to inspire audiences worldwide. Henry Fonda was one of the most respected and influential actors of classic American cinema, known for his understated yet powerful performances that embodied honesty and integrity. Born on May 16, 1905, in Grand Island, Nebraska, Fonda's career spanned over 5 decades, during which he became synonymous with the American everyman, principled, relatable, and quietly heroic. One of his most celebrated roles was as juror number 8 in 12 Angry Men, 1957, where his calm and moral conviction helped sway a jury toward justice in a tense courtroom drama. The film remains a classic, with Fonda's performance often praised for its dignity and strength. Another landmark film was The Grapes of Wrath, 1940, adapted from John Steinbeck's novel, in which Fonda portrayed Tom Joad, a man fighting for his family's survival during the Great Depression. This role cemented his reputation as a champion of social justice and human dignity. Fonda's naturalistic acting style influenced generations of actors, and he was known for bringing depth and sincerity to every character. Off-screen, he was admired for his humility and commitment to civil rights. Henry Fonda passed away in 1982, but his legacy as a symbol of integrity and earnestness in American film endures. Kirk Douglas was a powerhouse actor whose intense performances and charismatic presence made him one of the most enduring stars of classic Hollywood. Born Isser Danielovich on December 9, 1916, in Amsterdam, New York, Douglas rose from humble beginnings to become a symbol of determination and grit. His breakthrough came with the film Champion, 1949, where he portrayed a ruthless boxer, showcasing his ability to play complex, driven characters. Douglas is perhaps best remembered for his roles in epic dramas like Spartacus, 1960, directed by Stanley Kubrick. In this film, he played the titular gladiator who leads a massive slave revolt against the Roman Empire, delivering a powerful and heroic performance that earned the film lasting acclaim. Another notable work is Paths of Glory, 1957, an anti-war film by Kubrick in which Douglas portrayed Colonel Dax, a compassionate and principled officer defending his men against unjust charges during World War I. Beyond his acting career, Douglas was a producer and a strong advocate for creative freedom in Hollywood. His relentless work ethic and passion helped shape the modern film industry. Kirk Douglas passed away in 2020 at the age of 103, leaving behind a legacy of unforgettable performances and cinematic milestones.